Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mace, and yeah, thanks for coming back. As a typical Canadian, last night I was playing hockey and I got hit in the face with a high stick. You might be able to see it. Can you see it? Look at my eye. Can you see it? A little bit. Anyways, yeah, I got a high stick in the face. I didn't lose a tooth. My teammate, he got high sticked. He got high sticked right in the tooth on the same play, on the same shift. I got high sticked in the face. He got high sticked and lost a tooth. He just sent me a picture, and he must have a connection with the dentists in town because his teeth his teeth now look great because it was a front tooth and it was like totally like jagged angle, like Frankenstein teeth, and now he's got the pearly whites. Looks great, so he must have a dentist connection. I'm gonna put on the old glasses. This video is a country comparison: Australia versus Canada. It should be Australia and Canada. We both have enormous land masses, relatively small populations, both Commonwealth nations. I think we share a huge amount in common. I do have a cousin that lives in Sydney that I would hope to get to visit at some point. I would really love to get down there if I had the means to do so. But yeah, I think we share a lot in common. There's certain cultural differences, you know, our favorite sports and our favorite foods and our like they're little things though. They're not like big things. I think we share a lot in common. I think any Australian could live here in Canada pretty easily. Just move to like where I am, where the climate is temperate. It's not super cold. You might think Canada, oh, cold. Like that's the stereotype, right? Canada, ooh, cold. You're living in igloos. It's totally false. Like the weather, especially where I live, it's literally 20 degrees today. It's beautiful. It's pretty good. It snowed one time. It snowed one time, you guys. And yeah. All right, let's get to it.
Australia, Canada. Two gigantic countries with low populations, incredible living standards, and friendly, welcoming people.
Oh, it's kind of said what I said a little bit.
Welcome back to the Geography
Friendly,
Bible.
welcoming
I'm Sam,
people.
your narrator for the video. In this video, we'll be comparing two countries which are actually quite similar, but geographically are nowhere near each other.
Yes.
Then, once you've watched the video and dropped a like, of course, we will then ask you which one you'd rather live in.
Wait, is that Lake Louise? I can't tell. Kind of looks like Lake Louise in Canada, but
And which one you would rather just visit, and why.
that's Vancouver.
We will compare their demographics, geography, economies, quality of life, and of course we'll throw in some interesting facts.
I lived in
along the
Vancouver,
way.
so I should know, but I moved away. That's Toronto. Sydney. I moved away from Vancouver in 20.
So let's begin by looking at their key
2018,
demographics,
I moved back
starting off with their
the island.
populations. So out of the two, Canada is more populated, with around 37.7 million people.
This video must be a little old because we have, 4 years ago. I think we've peaked over 40 million now.
Making them the 39th
Well, how
most
many people are in
populous nation
Australia?
on
I should
Earth,
know
behind
this, but I'm
Poland
curious.
And above Morocco. Fun fact, there are more people living in Greater Tokyo than there are in the entirety of Canada. Think about that.
Isn't that insane? There's more people in Tokyo than Canada. Holy shit. I want to go to Tokyo, but
A city in
That's
the
crazy.
world has a higher population than the second biggest country on the planet. Wow. Australia is the 55th most populated country in the world, with roughly 25.5
25
million
million
people, putting them above Niger.
okay,
and
I'm curious, what are the current populations? So current population of Canada is 40.1 million. Okay. And it was what, 37? So we've gained 4 million. What about Australia? 26.66. So you've only gained about 1,000,006, something like that. Maybe 2 million at most. I know our government has had a very progressive immigration policy. We've definitely been having a huge influx immigration wise. So maybe that's part and parcel to that, which, you know, we need, but there has to be, we also have a housing crisis. We have a lot of problems that come along with that, but immigrants are amazing. They're incredible. Obviously, we're all immigrants, really. But governments need to be cognizant that you can't just have unlimited immigration coming in. Obviously, it needs to be controlled, and it needs to be at a level which ensures prosperity for all the people coming in and all the people already there, right? For Australia and Canada.
Below North Korea. Now that we know their populations, let's look at their population densities. This one is incredibly close and mind-blowing.
It makes sense.
With 3.92 people per kilometer squared, Canada is technically more densely populated, making them the 8th lowest densely populated country in the world. Then we have Australia, with 3 people per kilometer squared, making them the 5th lowest densely populated country in the world. Again, this next one is unbelievably close. Their life expectancy at birth. So Australia just takes the win here at just under 84 years, followed by Canada at just under 83. This means that
I didn't even realize our life expectancy was that high. I was going to think it was in like the early to mid 70s. That's pretty impressive. 82, 83 years old, because that's pretty old. And when you think about it, it puts it into perspective, doesn't it? That we're only here for a very short amount of time. Like we're all gonna be dead in like not that many decades. So I don't know. Life is crazy. You gotta really. Life is hard and difficult. I work with at-risk, underprivileged youth, and a lot of the times it's difficult for them to put into perspective, like, hey, like this bad decision that I'm making is going to affect my entire life. Because they're only living like in the moment. They're 16, 14, 18 years old. They don't always comprehend kind of where they're at and how life is going to go as they get older. And I think as you get older, life kind of feels to be exponentially getting faster and faster. Like the passage of time becomes quicker. When you're a kid, you're really not cognizant of it because you're just having fun. You're going out and doing stuff. You're hanging out with your buddies. You're going out and playing hockey and you're playing sports. But when you hit adulthood, all of a sudden you have bills. You have relationships. You have all of these stressors, health, all of these issues that you have to deal with. So it's pretty impressive, really, that as a human race, we can all juggle all of these different we're juggling all these different things in our lives, and at the same time having a good face about it and being just having a good laugh.
Australia has the 8th highest life expectancy in the world, and Canada is in 16th place. But are you ready for another crazy fact which actually counteracts
these beaches?
the
Is this
previous
in
information?
the Gold Coast?
Which country in the world do you think has the highest cancer rates? I'll give you a clue. It's
Probably Australia.
a country with lots of sun and generally quite a pale skin population. It is, of course, Australia. And then in 11th place, Canada. And finally, for demographics, let's look at the average age of the population. Now, a younger population is generally a better thing. This means a younger workforce and less of an aging population to hinder the economy and healthcare system. So Australia wins this one with an average age of 38.8 compared to Canada's 42.4. All right, let's now move on to their geography, starting off with their
Sorry, I missed that part. I gotta go back a tiny bit.
0.4. All right, let's now move on to their geography, starting off with their 0.4. All right, let's now move on to their geography, starting off with their total land area.
You guys are a lot
this
more
section
south.
should be interesting because they are both gigantic. Being the second biggest country on Earth, only
Similar
behind
land
Russia,
masses, right?
Canada has a staggering just under 9.1 million kilometers squared total land area, compared to Australia's 7.7 million, which makes them the 6th biggest country in the world. While Australia is an island, it is considered a continent, but it technically is the biggest island on Earth. For a visual comparison of these two countries, let's hop over to the truesizeof.com, where we can see the true size of these countries side by side. It is difficult to represent our 3-dimensional world on a 2-dimensional map, so this website allows us to see how big each country actually is in relation to each other. So by grabbing both of these countries and putting them on the equator, we can see their actual sizes side by side. So yes, Canada is obviously massive, but its proportions are incorrectly displayed on a traditional map. Let's now take a look at what percentage of these...
It's like Greenland. Often Greenland is like portrayed as absolutely massive, but it's not really that big.
Country's landmass is covered in forests, and also how much coastline they have, with 16.2%, 39% of which is in Queensland, of the country being covered in forest. Australia has significantly less than Canada at 34%, so more than a third of Canada's total size is actually forests. Canada actually has the 3rd most forest by area in the world, and Australia has the 6th. Okay,
that's one thing I absolutely love about living here. Like, just earlier today, like 2 hours ago, I was mountain biking in the forest, doing laps, and I was actually getting paid. Getting paid for it because I was working at the time with some youth that I work with. And yeah, we're just out in the forest going down these downhill trails, and it's intense. Like, these trails are not easy. The kids, they're flying through these trails. And I'm having a great time because I'm not old, but I'm getting, I'm a lot, to them I'm old, right? So they're flying. I'm trying to catch up. It was a good time. But yeah, I'm in the forest in literally 2 minutes. And it's where I live, forest is just forest. That's it. That's all for the forest, lakes, rivers, oceans, fishing. Love it.
So before we reveal this one, out of the two, which one do you think has the most coastline? This country also has the most coastline out of any country on Earth. So if you said Australia, you're wrong, unfortunately. So with 202,000 kilometers, Canada has by far the most coastline in the world, followed by Australia, which is in 7th place with a measly 25.7k kilometers. Now, to my surprise, Norway actually has the 2nd most coastline in the world. All right, so let's move on to the economy.
It looks like Toronto? I don't know. My first thought was Vancouver, but...
And some financial statistics for these
Maybe
two
that's
countries.
Australia.
Again, this is another one which is neck and neck. The resemblance for these two countries is uncanny.
Yeah.
So let's begin by looking at their total GDP. The GDP can be calculated by adding up all of the money spent by consumers, businesses, and government in a given period. So with 1.3 trillion US dollars, Australia has the 13th biggest economy in the world, which is actually very impressive considering their population is only 25.5 million. This puts them above Spain and below South Korea. Then, with 1.65 trillion, Canada is the 10th biggest economy in the world, behind Italy and above Russia. However, Canada's economy is actually growing faster at just over 3%, and Australia just under 2%. Now that we know their GDP, we can calculate their GDP per capita by dividing their total GDP by their population. Australia actually takes the win here, with around 55,000 US dollars per person, compared to Canada's 46,200. So the personal wealth of the average Aussie is around $9,000 more than the average Canadian. However, Australia is the 16th most expensive country to live in the world, compared to Canada, which is in 24th place. So this probably balances the two nations out. And to end the economy section, let's have a look at some quick fire
It's very expensive to live in Canada.
Both of these countries have identical education expenditures at 5.3%. Inflation is higher in Australia at 2% compared to Canada's 1.6%, and Canada has the 8th most billionaires in the world with 44, compared to 31 in Australia, which puts them in 12th place. And finally, let's end this section by looking at the Big Mac Index. No, seriously, this is a genuine thing. So buying a Big Mac in Canada will burn
Fuck billionaires.
a bigger hole in your pocket compared to the land down under at $5.29 and $4.98 respectively. And to end the video, let's finish off with some quality of life statistics and facts. an area which both of these countries excel in my opinion. When I think of Canada and Australia, I think of high wages, good education, and great living standards in general.
From idea to submission, empower students.
Good standard of life, education.
Perfect, and they do, of course, have poverty in certain areas. Let's start off by looking at a not so great statistic for these two countries.
Why you gotta do that?
To which
Now
they
I
are
want
neck
pizza.
and neck, their obesity rates. They pretty much have the same percentage of their adult population classed as obese, at a roughly 29%. This comes to no surprise as both of these countries indulge in a 21st century Western diet, and Aussies sure do love their meat, beer, and barbecues. Australia has more physicians and hospital beds
Meat, beer,
per
and
1,000
barbecues,
people,
baby.
with 3.8 and 3.59 respectively. When it comes to school life expectancy, Australia is ranked as the #1 in the world. The school life expectancy, or the SLE, is the total number of years of schooling, this is primary to tertiary, that a child can expect to receive. So with a staggering 23 years, Australia takes the win here. Canada sits in...
I always like, so does this mean if I want to go back to school right now, in my mid-40s, does that mean that I had how many years of school? So like when I was in my teens, I would have been... When did I start going to school? 6? 7? I don't know. I can't even remember it, man. Let's just say 6, like grade 1. So 12, something like that. And then post-secondary. But if I want to go back to school again...
Equals 7th place, with many other countries at 17 years, which is still very impressive. Australia just misses out on the top 10 happiest countries in the world in 12th place, which coincidentally sits behind Canada in 11th.
Yeah, it's interesting Finland gets #1. Scandinavian countries in general seem to do really, really well. Switzerland's there. Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Norway.
Place. When it comes to the Global Peace Index, Canada ranks as the 6th most peaceful country on Earth compared to Australia in 13th place. However, when it comes to corruption, Australia does make the top 10 compared to Canada, who are in 16th place. And finally, the last one, let's compare their military strength ranking.
Australia probably got us.
These two countries are neck and neck again, with Australia having the 19th
We're really
strongest military
similar,
in
aren't
the
we?
world compared to Canada, who are in 21st place. So now it's your turn. Let us know in the comments below which one you would live in and which one you would just visit and why. We can't wait to read your comments. And while you're there, let us know which cities or countries we should do next. Personally, I would live in Australia because I'm a summer baby who loves the ocean, and I'd visit Canada for sure. It's another dream destination.
You see that? That's a stereotype. He shows Australia, Sydney Harbour, looks beautiful. Cut to Canada. Snowy, icy streets. It's not indicative of Canada at all, but it's fine.
That I hope to visit soon. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video,
I think it's fine if we keep that perception and stereotype up, so less people will move here. Listen, I love people. I love immigrants. I love everybody. We need immigrants, of course. We need more people. But at the same time, we don't want people. Listen, we love the people that are here. And we love the people coming in, but let's not advertise it. I'm sure Australians feel the same.
Or you learn something new, a like would be much appreciated. And if you love this sort of content,
good stuff. All right, we'll see you all soon. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the whole situation. I just released a new album. I was working on a new song. I could do an entire video of just a workshop video showing you guys what I do, my process. Might be fun, actually, for any rap or hip-hop fans. I'll play a song. Let's play a song from the album. Let's play a song from the new album, if I can find it, in a quick manner. New album. We don't need to play all, so I think I already played Grim on a prior video. Let's play We Go Crazy. I like this one. I like this one quite a bit. Me, Myself, and the Drums is good. Let's go We Go Crazy. Maybe Me, Myself, and the Drums. We Go Crazy. Let's go.
$1 million or he dies.
Mill, you went off on this one, man. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Let's get it. How the mighty have fallen. Now they're standing in the middle of the road and tiny whitey's crawling. Like little toddlers calling out for the mommies ballin'. Little noise makers made by the tall bin. All-time low sale price. I'm gold on these others, just stale rice. And they flail like tykes. Simple issues entail fights. Little pukes need to be rebuked. Stop fiddling, playing tiddlywinks in groups, which is copied and loop scooped by monkey see, monkey do. What the hell is the scoop? We go crazy on the daily. At least that's how we acting lately. We go crazy on the daily. At least that's how we acting lately. To the people of the world, this is just an old school flow, but it's also brand new when it's grand too. No illusions when I'm on the mic spilling the pen. Million rhymes and then writing a million more. So anyways, if you want to check it out, it's in the description.